Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on the Star Wars universe. I'm your host, Tim vanautreve. Joining me as always are Josh the Tosh, internet famous Mason.
Hello.
Self-described best dad in the universe, according to his... Oh, Galaxy, sorry. According to his
not
t-shirt.
Self-described.
Your t-shirt...
My brother-in-law gave it to me.
Your t-shirt is describing you.
Yeah.
And joining us, also, Jennifer... mother of Maximus vanautreve. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Maximus is on the show again, like he has been every episode since birth. He is eating right now, right?
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Perfect.
Good.
Maximus is our 2-month-old. Getting big. He's smiling finally. He's cute. Today we're going to be talking about the Mortis Trilogy from the Clone Wars. Way back in what year did that come out?
A long time ago.
Doesn't even matter.
No.
I mean,
it's like season 3 episodes, like 14 through 16 or 15 through 17, something like that.
I'm glad we did our research.
Well, I mean, it's not that important.
Yeah, you can Google it, right?
Yeah. So who's going to synopsize? Jen, you prepared?
No, not really, because I don't understand it, so I wouldn't really.
Nobody really understands it, even to this day.
Even to this day.
But
also, I have not watched the rest of Clone Wars, so I have no idea what led up to this or
it doesn't really
what
matter.
They were doing. I just watched these 3 episodes.
That's fine. It's like the most self-encapsulated story arc in the Clone Wars.
I'll tell you what I could
Well, how about I'll
understand from
synopsize and then you add in your knowledge?
Or I could give you a really brief understanding of my basic
All right, let's start with that.
understanding, and then you can interrupt me every 5 seconds.
All right.
It was episodes 15 through 17 of season 3.
There you go.
It came out in early 2011.
Okay, so Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan, and I think some droids, I don't remember. They're in a ship. They're flying somewhere. And
They're not flying somewhere. They're flying to a particular place.
A rendezvous point to meet up with the clone
They're supposed
army.
to be meeting with Rex, right?
And they're looking. There was an old Jedi distress signal that hasn't been used for like 2,000 years that all of a sudden showed up. And so the Jedi Council
That is the beginning of a lot of different stories, it seems like. That was in the comic book.
It's a good story jumping off point.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were meeting
this
Rex
is timeline-wise, though.
Timeline?
Timeline. It is...
in the middle of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, in the middle of the Clone Wars. Like after episode 2.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, all right. Go ahead. I'm setting the scene.
Okay.
Somebody may not know.
Okay, so they're talking to Rex as they're supposed to be approaching this
Rex?
point. Rex is a clone.
Yeah, and we know him from Rebels.
Yeah.
He's a clone trooper from Rebels, yeah.
Yeah.
But also he was one of the main clone characters in the entire Clone Wars.
Yeah, he's
series.
the only clone I know.
Well, you know Wolf and Gregor.
And Cody.
Yeah, but I wouldn't remember their names. I know Rex the most.
Yeah.
So anyway, they have this destination, they put it in their GPS. They're supposed to meet at this place. And then they're like, I'm not going to do this if you don't stop talking, Tim. You're annoying me.
I am always annoying you. If I speak, I'm annoying you.
Yeah, well, I was
over here talking to Josh about getting the feedback all situated, and you're like, I can't watch. When am I going to watch this trailer? Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. So they have this destination, and they think that they are at the rendezvous point, but Rex is like, where are you? You're not here. And so they're like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be here. There's nothing here. And then all of a sudden there's this huge...
It looks kind of like a holocron. Giant one.
Yeah, it looks like this giant thing orbiting, or just this giant thing in the sky, in space. And it kind of starts pulling them in. It opens up. And they come into it, and then it closes with them inside, and the inside is like a planet of its own. And they have no idea where they are. They can't communicate with Rex anymore. And it's a very strange planet. They don't see any animals. They don't see any people. And then after they've been there a short time, they come across the daughter.
I think it's
Right?
the sister is what her name is.
Yeah.
Oh, the sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sister and the brother.
Oh, okay, the sister. They come across her. She's like this being, I can't even explain her. But she's like trying to help them, and she's kind of...
No, we're wrong. It's the daughter and the son.
All right. Well,
Oh,
there you
so
go.
Yeah,
I
we
was
just
right.
made like every listener's head explode.
Good thing you caught it.
Okay,
So we didn't
so
repeat it
that's what I
45
thought.
times.
The daughter.
She's got weird, flowy green hair.
Yeah, she kind of looks like a celestial
Yeah.
being. She's very pretty. Doesn't she have... You said green hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she kind of has like this white flowing gown.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of looks like an angel, and she's kind of trying to help them out. She tells them to go with her, and she kind of starts warning them about her brother
And the
coming.
darkness.
Yeah,
at
and about,
nighttime.
we got to get there before it gets dark, and you don't know what's going on. And the whole thing is very confusing. They get separated, and I think Obi-Wan is the only one that is with her.
No, Obi-Wan
it-
and Ahsoka are split off.
Oh, okay, so
Anakin and the daughter.
Anakin is with her, and then they get separated. They're like going up a mountain, and it like, I don't even know. There's like an avalanche or something.
Well, lightning bolt. hits-
Oh, okay.
And,
And then I think she says something about her brother. This is the work of her brother or something like
Right.
that.
Yep.
And so Anakin tells them they can still communicate. They're like yelling across the rocks, and Anakin tells them to go back to the ship or something. And they start to go back, and then it's getting dark outside, and as it gets dark, like all of the plant life and everything is dying, and then it starts like storming, but it's kind of like an asteroid storm almost or something. And that's about all I understand. And then it just
that's the extent?
that's it.
That's the first 5 minutes of the
I know
first episode.
it doesn't make any
You've basically just gotten us to the first commercial break
Yeah.
of the first episode. You've established the world.
Okay.
So the daughter takes Anakin up to the father, and the father talks at length about how this is a special place. They're very strong in the Force. The daughter is very strong in the light, and the son is very strong in the darkness. And he can control them, and that's why they stay there. Because if they left, he could not control them, and they would either bring complete darkness or complete light to the galaxy, and that would be bad. There needs to be balance.
And the father keeps them balanced. Like that's
Right.
his role.
And
Mhm.
he's dying.
Right.
He knows he's dying. And so he thinks Anakin is the chosen one.
Right.
At least he's heard this through the Force grapevine.
He brought them there because he thought Anakin was the chosen one. And he says like this planet or whatever they're on is
Mortis.
a conduit or something. He says like all the Force flows through
Right.
this place, and it's stronger there than anywhere else.
Yep.
So he tests Anakin.
Because he wants Anakin to replace him.
Right.
Because he knows if his son and daughter get out into the galaxy, bad stuff's going to happen.
Right.
So they do a testy job.
They're going to attack him, and then Anakin like floats them both. And
Well, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are in a cave, and they both have Force visions that are kind of interesting. But ultimately, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka are used as bait. And the father says, you get to save one of the two of them. Pick one. And that's like his final test. And Anakin decides, I'm not going to pick anybody because I'm the chosen one. I'm going to pick both.
right.
And so
He like
he uses the Force
lifts
to,
both of them, and
to subdue both kids.
so the son turns into like this weird vampire bat,
thing.
and the
It looks
daughter
like a gremlin face and then like a bat body.
Yeah.
and the daughter turns into
A beautiful white griffin.
yes.
So then the father's like, yes, you're the chosen one. I was smart to bring you here. You have a choice. You can either join me or you can leave. And Anakin's like, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, I gotta bounce. I can't. Well, he like really thinks about
Right.
it, and he struggles with it, and then decides that he has to leave because he can't give up on his friends and
Right.
and the
He
Clone
needs to
War.
save the galaxy.
Right.
So they try to leave, and then right at the end of the episode, the brother comes in and steals Ahsoka. So then the next episode,
The son comes in.
yeah, I'm gonna keep saying brother because the brothers of the Inquisitor people,
Right.
the son steals Ahsoka.
Well, and plus his sister, they
Calls
talk
him,
about
yeah.
him all the time, and it's like
Yeah.
my brother this, my brother that.
Yeah. So the son steals Ahsoka and like corrupts her and makes her this weird gray veiny version of Ahsoka.
He takes her like into this cave, and then he turns into this weird bug that bites her and infects her, and then she's like evil Ahsoka.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
The whole thing is so trippy.
Yeah,
it's
like
great.
they have a lot of like weird dream sequences. Like she, like you said, they have these strange visions, and she has doesn't her vision involve Anakin going dark?
Yeah, I can't remember what her vision was, but it's something to do with that.
And so she wants to get out.
I think it was about her failing, and I can't remember.
I don't know, but she wants to
Not
get out
important.
and save Anakin, and
Yeah. So then Anakin goes back to the father, and Obi-Wan somehow gets in league with the daughter, and he convinces her, he smooth talks her. He says, "There's got to be something we can do." And she so she takes him to this secret place on Mortis that even she can't go into. So only an outsider or the father can go in there. And he goes in there, and there's this giant stone dagger. And so he takes the dagger, and she's like, "You can kill my brother with this. Lol, let's go." And Anakin, I can't remember what he does with the father, but the father is manipulating him the whole time. And he convinces... Is it him that can vote? No, the son convinces Anakin that he needs to basically turn to the dark side. He gives him the "we'll rule the galaxy together" speech, and we'll bring order. The same shenanigans. And Anakin's like, that's Sith.
Well, Anakin's
philosophy
kind of
and-
corrupted too, because you can see once the brother or the son gets to them, like
his eyes change.
their color changes on
Right.
the screen. But he convinces him that they have to, I don't know.
Well,
how he does
ultimately,
it, but-
there's a couple things that happen. Obi-Wan goes down into this weird lava cave after Anakin. Oh, this is not... So I skipped the part. There's a confrontation that occurs where Ahsoka is bad Ahsoka, and she's fighting Obi-Wan and Anakin. And then the son shows up, and the daughter's there, and the father's there. And somehow the father gets the dagger of Mortis, the one that Obi-Wan had retrieved. And he's about to stab the father, and the daughter gets in the way. And he ends up stabbing his sister. And he gets super emo about it, and he runs off and cries. And they think Ahsoka's going to die, but then the father's like, "No, my dying daughter can give some of her life force to save Ahsoka." So the daughter dies, and Ahsoka ends up getting saved, and she's no longer evil Ahsoka.
Mhm.
So then Anakin ends up chasing the brother, or the son. The son does his he ends up corrupting Anakin. Obi-Wan follows him into this weird lava cave, and Anakin abandons him there. And Ahsoka ends up like the brother wants to get out of Mortis. That's his plan, and he's trying to manipulate Anakin to get out of Mortis.
Right, and so he can like take his ship.
Yeah. So they go back to take the ship, but Ahsoka disabled it.
Yeah, and then
Everybody
sneaks out.
everybody ends up back at this tower, the main tower, and how does it ultimately resolve? The father is dying, but then he stabs himself in the stomach with the dagger, And if the father dies, like the son dies, like that's what
Yeah.
didn't make complete sense. None of this makes complete sense. But the father ends up stabbing himself with the dagger, and then the son dies. And then Anakin...
The son was going to kill his father or have Anakin help him kill him. And
it's all very confusing.
the father had the dagger and was hiding it, and you think like maybe he's going to kill his son with the dagger, but he kills himself.
Yeah.
Another thing, the son looks like the Inquisitors.
He looks similar, yeah.
Yeah. When he's not like the gremlin-looking bat creature.
So then they get on their ship and they leave, and Mortis like vanishes, and the screen goes to white, and then it comes back and they wake up. And it's
then,
like no time had passed.
And Rex is still right there talking to them, and it's like, hey, we lost you for a second. What's going on? Like they like just fall asleep for a minute, and then they're all right back where they left off.
And all three of them it was like, to them it was real, but there's no way they could explain it to anybody else, basically.
Yeah. One of the biggest things though, when Anakin was getting the visions, he got to see what he would become.
Yeah, we forgot that part.
He
That's
sees
like
that he becomes...
That's why he ends up turning in the first place. Because he wanted to stop himself from becoming Vader.
He saw the whole thing. He saw visions of the future.
Him killing killing Padme.
Yeah, him fighting with Obi-Wan. Yeah, he had a few different visions with Padme.
Yeah.
But he saw his whole future, and the father, for some reason, was it the father?
It was the father.
The father wiped his memory, and then so it's like he knew exactly what was going to happen just for a short period of time, and then.
Well, because the father is like, history needs to you won't do the same thing if you know what the future holds, but the future needs to happen the same way. So he wipes his memory.
Yeah, it was so confusing because he's like he's saying you're the chosen one, but the father knew exactly what he was going to do. So I'm like, I don't understand why he's the chosen one if he knows that that's going to happen, and now he is not even trying to prevent that from happening,
right?
In any way.
So the father took the dagger, like you said, killed himself with it. The son stabs himself. The son is like, oh, noes. And then that is a distraction enough for Anakin to kill him.
That's what it was.
And then the father says to Anakin, you're the chosen one. You brought balance back to this world by eliminating all three of us. And you're going to do it again. You're going to bring balance to the Force again.
Right. But in the wider galaxy.
Right. And he warns him to beware his inner self, or else he will bring doom to the galaxy. And then the father disappears. And he wipes his memory of all the Force visions and his future.
But not all of Mortis. Just his knowledge of the future.
Right.
So now that we know what the episodes had, the broader discussion, nobody knows if this was all a vision. Did they really experience it? Did these people exist? Does Mortis exist? Nobody knows. And Filoni has never answered the question specifically. He's talked in one of the ways I've read it described is he told the people writing it to make it like one big Dagobah cave sequence.
Yeah, that's very much like what it was. It's trippy dream sequence weirdness the whole time.
But lots of Force lore.
But not just that, but layered. So they're in a trippy dream sequence where they have trippy dream sequences.
It's crazy.
And it's that's like my least favorite part of stories is when people are tripping out and doing weird stuff that isn't actually happening.
Because you don't know what you can trust.
Yeah, I don't know what's real and what's not, and what's real symbolism and what's in there just to be weird, and what matters and what doesn't, and I've never liked it.
Now the broader discussion on why this is relevant. Why are we even talking about this? So the dagger of Mortis is referenced in your visual dictionary for The Last Jedi, which is kind of interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
When?
It's on one of the pages about Acto or Luke They talk about the dagger
Oh.
of Mortis.
Really?
But then also now we've got this season 4 mid-season trailer thing for Rebels, and there's a big mural diorama thing that shows the father, the son, and the daughter in a place where Ezra is.
Well, there was also that little like tiled mural thing
So that was the Prime Jedi.
in The Last Jedi.
That's not to do with, at least nobody knows how it would have anything to do with Mortis. It's just referenced as the Prime Jedi. I think it's like the first Jedi Temple has its own page. But
Yeah,
so
I'm on Temple Island, Jedi Temple. And then there's Luke Skywalker. What's it called? The Mortis.
the dagger of Mortis.
It's like exactly like the sword and the stone. That's what
It's
it
pretty
looks
similar,
like.
yeah. So it's pretty interesting. Now Ezra is going to see this weird mural thing, and nobody really knows about Mortis, but we also see the Emperor in the trailer, the season 4 trailer. So there's the Prime Jedi thing.
Right.
It's interesting that Ezra has all of like this connection with all the animals and all the Force creatures,
Yeah.
and the son and the daughter both turned into
Yeah.
animals.
So you just watched the trailer. Do you want to synopsize the trailer?
Oh, geez.
You watched it like twice.
I'm really bad with trailers because they go too fast. So the first half of it is just Ezra talking about his past, and it's just showing clips from the different
Yeah, we don't care about
seasons.
that. The new stuff.
So then the new stuff, I don't even know where to start.
Kanan goes to save Hera, right?
And he has cut his hair and he has shaved his beard.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have his little eye
His mask
mask
job.
thing. He looks completely different.
He looks like he's his character's reaching the end of its arc almost.
It looks like he was in prison and they shaved
Yeah.
him and cut his hair.
He's just changing.
Well, it's because his arc's gonna end.
And
So then they show.
you just see a lot of fighting going on. You see Thrawn giving commands to like bomb the whole planet.
All of Lothal.
And you see
We see like all the characters.
yeah,
Over the years, we see like Ryder, we see Hondo,
I didn't
we see Rex,
Hondo.
we see Gregor, we see Wolf.
You see
So, like lots of people are coming together to fight
yeah,
on Lothal.
You see Sabine. I didn't see all those people you just said, but because it goes too fast for me. I can't even tell what's going on. But they're fighting, and then but you see Ezra with the Loth wolves.
Now there's like a giant one.
Wasn't there always a giant one?
No, that we've seen like a bunch of the big Loth wolves, but now there's one that's even bigger than those.
Okay, well, there's like 3. It seems like there's 3 Loth wolves that are kind of like following him around. And he's, like you said, he's in some cave or something, and you see the vision of the father and the son and daughter light up on the wall.
And there's also like lots of weird, trippy neon light paths that he's walking on.
Yeah. And when he's walking along this path, there's the
bird,
owl.
the convor.
Whatever it's called. It looks like an owl that's...
Oh, that's the other thing. On the mural, the convor is like, there's a convor on like the daughter's shoulder or something.
Oh.
And so like there's heavy insinuation that maybe the convors are in some way related to the daughter.
So he sees the convor, and he's like, "Hey, I know you. I've seen you before." And then it starts hooting at him.
Yeah.
It ends and like really mysteriously, like with Ezra with these the 3 wolves behind him in the dark, and he's like, "I know what I have to do now," or "I know what we have to do now." And then he pulls his saber out, and he's like, "There's one last lesson," or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Palpatine's in it.
Yeah.
Palpatine says like something about Ezra Bridger is finally his, and
well, it's nice to finally meet you or something to that extent.
he says he's finally mine or something like that. No, it
Yep.
looked, I mean, it was really cool.
And it was only Ezra talking. He was the
Yeah.
only voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely
Well,
made
you
it
hear
seem
a
like
couple.
you
he's
hear
like the
other lines, but
yeah.
he's like narrating it.
Yeah.
It's definitely putting the focus on Ezra to end
Yes.
the season.
The first 1 minute and 40 seconds is just complete
Him
recap.
voiceover recap.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah,
Not a
I
big
mean,
gap.
it really sets up how much he's grown and how much effect he's had on the galaxy. It was cool. I liked the trailer.
So here's the rundown. On February 19th, there's 2 episodes. There's one called Jedi Night, like night as in dark, you go to sleep night.
Mm.
And then the second episode is called Doom, but D-U-M-E, Caleb Doom, last name.
Yeah.
Then on February 26th, a week later, there's 2 more episodes. One is called Wolves in a Door, and the other is called A World Between Worlds. That one sounds interesting. Then on March 5th, there's 3 episodes.
What?
It's a 90-minute spectacular.
We should have a party.
A Rebel season ending party.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, her eyes are wide. She's
She's
stoked.
excited.
Yes. That's a Friday.
Are we going to invite
Isn't
people
it?
over? What are we going to do?
It-
I
No,
have
it's
no
a-
idea
it's a
what March
Monday.
5th is.
It's a Monday.
Could we could all watch it downstairs and live stream? So people could just watch a video on YouTube of us watching a TV show.
Oh man, that sounds great.
So the last 3 episodes are called A Fool's Hope,
So
Family
the last,
Reunion.
The last 3 episodes are on March 5th.
Yes. A Fool's Hope, Family Reunion, and Farewell.
Wait, how do you watch these episodes? Do you have to have Disney?
If you want to, you need Disney XD to watch them live.
Do we have that?
I think it's
the
all
app.
in the new Disney Now.
Yeah, that's how I watch it.
But Disney
I don't know when it
XD,
comes live.
I don't think is the app Disney XD I don't think is real anymore.
I'm saying if you want to watch it live,
Oh
you
yeah,
need the
Disney
channel.
XD channel. Okay. I'm with you now.
And we don't have that, right?
I don't. I watch it on the Disney Now.
We can
app.
watch live Disney XD with the app.
the Disney Now app.
Both watch live Disney XD, I believe.
Then I could probably do it.
All right. So I'm looking at this book. The only Mortis reference I see is on Luke Skywalker's page. And all it says is he's lost track of time on the island, the result of his willful neglect, as well as a mysterious quality the world shares with such force-infused locales as Dagobah and Mortis.
There you go.
But there's nothing about the knife.
Somewhere there is a reference to the dagger, and maybe it's not in that book. Maybe it's in a different one.
There's another, like on the next page, they talk about Jedi artifacts, but it's like something he made from a fragmented Sith crystal and
Yeah.
lightning rods, and there was keys to finding the island. Like he got there from Uneti saplings, a rare type of tree that is sensitive in its own way to the Force, and all kinds of stuff like that. But nothing about the actual knife.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
At least not that I could find.
So that's it. That's our hype content to get you excited
The
for
trailer looks really good.
It's definitely going to be fast paced. There's no Hondo episodes.
No,
Coming up.
no bridge episodes.
How do you think Hondo? Oh, we're gonna pause because Max is getting crabby. All right, Jenny stepped out. So I think we should talk a little bit more about Mortis Trilogy and what some of the stuff meant. I mean, like, I don't know. Everybody has all these theories, and I just don't care what it means. Am I the only, everybody? I've seen a lot of our fans are like excited about Mortis and how it's linked in, and I just don't care. Do you?
I think it's just interesting filling in the gaps of the lore. That's the main thing.
I can appreciate that, but it just seems so abstract that anything that happens, I don't feel like is going to have answers on its own anyway. It's just going to be, maybe they just flash that image just to show how important balance to the Force is. I think that's like the main takeaway from it, is there has to be balance.
But then what does that mean for the characters of Rebels?
I don't know. What do you think it means?
Well, I think Kanan's going to die.
But how does that bring balance to the Force?
I don't think it has to do with balance.
But that's what I just asked. What is the overall idea that there has to be balance to the Force have to do with Rebels?
Well, so one person's theory is that like Ezra is going to become the son, Kanan's going to become the father, and Ahsoka's going to become the daughter. Like, people don't want to believe that Ahsoka is gone forever. And it's kind of interesting. Only 3 people experience Mortis, and one of them is Ahsoka.
Okay.
So,
but Ahsoka is become gray, basically. So I would actually kind of believe she would be the father before Kanan.
I don't think any of that's going to happen. I'm just saying I don't know why Mortis is being brought back, but it being tied to Ahsoka is like the most obvious thing.
Yes. I could see Ahsoka coming back. I would like that.
But what
does
it mean? I don't know. Like, I don't...
We got a lot of letters about Mortis.
I don't think we did.
Jesus wrote some. Maybe we didn't get a lot. We got some.
Yeah, I don't have a good idea of what it means. And I haven't put a ton of thought into it. I just want to go for the ride.
Well, I do too, but I mean, like, we made a podcast to talk about it. So I thought maybe we would dig into it a little more.
What do you think? You have a shovel.
I have a shovel.
You can dig into it.
I kind of dug into it by saying...
By asking a question?
By saying I don't want to. I don't care about all the weird, trippy weirdness of what happened in Clone Wars. Like, I get the importance of it at the time.
What's the importance of it at the time?
That Anakin's journey, I think that actually had a hand in helping him turn toward the dark side.
Why? It was already going to happen.
Because he touched more of the dark as he joined up with the sun. He tapped into it more, and that part didn't get erased from his memory.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, he was already... I just think it's an interesting way to... So everyone's always like, Anakin's going to bring balance to the Force, and they think it's a positive thing, right? Like, they're going to get rid of the dark side. That's not bringing balance. And I think that was the point of... One of the points of that arc was to kind of elaborate on the idea that he was going to get rid of all of the Jedi, and that was going to bring balance. Because there was too much focus on the light side. And it being so distilled to 3 individuals is kind of like my interpretation of that, and that he brings balance by destroying everything, right? It's a perfect, not allegory, but metaphor for the rest of the movies. That
Anakin basically just...
He's going to have to destroy everything to bring balance.
Huh. Yeah. Hey, that's a really smart way to analyze that. I accept that.
Okay.
I accept that explanation.
I don't know why that's important. It's just an interesting idea.
But why is... I mean, I don't know why it's still important.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's...
Or why the Mortis Trilogy has to come back.
I don't know. I don't know how it connects to Ezra.
Maybe they literally just show like one little mural. They just like run across it in a Jedi temple or something.
It would seem really cheap to pull that in for one thing. And Ezra's like, that's a neat picture. And that's it?
That's
like,
swell.
That's a pretty lame callback at that point.
And Kanan's like, oh, yes, there's rumor.
Kanan's already dead by then, in my opinion.
I don't think Kanan dies.
I think Kanan dies the first night.
I don't think any of them die.
In the episode called Doom.
No way. I think he just gives up on the Kanan
persona.
Yeah, he's just done with it.
And what does he do, though?
He becomes Caleb again.
And he just runs off with...
Hera.
No, he'd have to run off and become a street urchin again.
Yeah. All right. I'll take
what's
that.
his name? Janus Casimir?
The Davarone or whatever he was.
Yeah.
I just want to make an aside that in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Ezra is really good,
Yeah.
and the Phoenix team is good, but not for like end-to-end game. But if you ever just start playing that game, just like
Good
straight
starter
up,
hero.
just straight up level Phoenix, and you'll be like top 20 in arena until you have leveled up the characters that will keep you in top 20.
Thank you for that. Useless.
I'm not just giving it to you, I'm giving it to the listeners.
I
like
understand.
it's actually a really fun game. I enjoy it quite a bit.
No, I can't do phone games.
I've seen you playing phone games.
I don't play phone games. You will not find a single phone game on my phone.
Well, what do you do on your phone that looks like a game?
I do the WoW companion app.
Okay.
So that looks like a game, but it's not really a game.
I swear I saw you playing something on it the other day.
So I hope it's not as cheap as a mural on a wall. And there's just so many clues, like the Convor thing is obvious. I mean, that the Convors have been present throughout the series. And now they're explicitly showing the Convor on the mural with the sister, or the daughter. It seems too important to just be an aside.
What do you think the Convors are?
I don't know. Her will? Trying to do good? I don't know.
Deep.
All the theories are like, yeah, the giant wolf is clearly Kanan. Like, Kanan is clearly the giant wolf.
How's that possible?
I don't know. How are you able to teleport across all of Lothal walking through wolf tunnels?
But why would the wolf... Kanan's not even dead.
Well, that's the thing is, Kanan will be dead, and then a giant wolf shows up.
Oh, the giant wolf.
Right.
Not the other giant wolves.
Right.
Okay.
The giant of the giant wolves.
From the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a twofer in this episode.
What?
We talked about Mortis Trilogy.
We dabbled in the Clone Wars.
We dabbled in, the Clone Wars, and we talked about Season 4 mid-trailer.
Yeah.
Look out.
That's the last time we'll talk about Clone Wars. Most likely.
I doubt it. Someday we may talk about something else. Maybe
there aren't that many.
They'll do a callback to
what?
Something else. I don't know.
There wasn't as many self-contained arcs that weren't focused on the Clone Wars.
Well, we talk about stuff like what was Hera's dad's name?
I don't remember.
John.
No, that's John Burrell. That's from
Okay.
Aftermath. I don't remember her dad's name.
But he's in
the
books
Clone Wars.
and he was in Clone Wars and he's Hera's daddy.
Yeah, but he's only there as a bit character.
Well, and we find out Obi-Wan had that fling with what's her name?
The Duchess Satine.
Yeah, and what if
but that doesn't matter.
What if Rey's
It's not
Obi-Wan's daughter?
Rey isn't.
Okay. You want to do feedback?
Yeah.
Letters at StarWarsNerdsUnite.com. You too could be read on the air.
And we're trying to get through our backlog.
Hot take. You're here for it. We're back in November.
So some of this stuff we might not totally respond to because it won't be pertinent. Because a lot of these emails are
Last
Jedi
Jedi
hypes and theories. So sorry we didn't get to it at the time, but
I feel bad. We're back on track now.
we're getting there.
All right, here we go. Hey, SWNU crew, John here. Not John J. Best, PIA. I'm excited to introduce myself and finally write a letter to you.
A letter to
tell you all how much I enjoy your show. Sorry. This email will be a little generic because I'm referencing my experience from 130 episodes. I've been listening for a couple months now and found your podcast on Spotify when I rediscovered my love for Star Wars while playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Sorry in advance for run-on sentences and quick subject changes. Hey, it wouldn't be a letter without it. I grew up in the 90s and watched the films and played with my older brother's Legos and figures, but really only knew that Darth Vader was bad, Luke was his son, and stormtroopers are terrible shots. Since listening to your podcast, I can officially say I'm a full-on Star Wars nerd. I've read a number of books, comics, and have rewatched the movies and Rebels and Clone Wars and have learned so much more about the Star Wars universe and finally understand Order 66. Hashtag DeWitt.
I think it's Do It.
Do it.
I don't know what
Do
the
it.
reference is, though.
Mountain Dew? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I appreciate what all your different personalities bring to the table. I feel Jen and I had a similar knowledge base when I first started listening. Mason's straightforward, analytical, and factual. Finally, Tim is... Well, he actually says something kind of nice about me. Is the energy binder that holds the metaphorical pod racer together. I'm so used to getting dumped on when it comes to me.
The key thing you do is you
Hold
keep
something.
the other things
I
that
keep the wheels
actually
on.
propel the thing forward in one place.
Oh, jeez.
And then you also numb Jar Jar's tongue.
Tim's reaction in episode 127 to Drew's email had me in stitches. Oh, God, that was the funniest email I've ever read. I stopped reading Aftermath halfway through and was contemplating my reading level, but it was comforting to know others struggled with the book as well. Now that I'm all caught up, I hope to send more letters pertaining to the recent episodes. Thank you for all you've done, and hopefully we'll continue to do. John signing out. P.S. I'm designing my Stormtrooper costume for next Halloween. I'm currently working on the helmet made of cardboard and plaster. So far so good, but not picture worthy. I'll send you an update when it's worth it. May the force be with you. He later sent a picture, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we might have already read it.
That
I can't
is
remember.
actually very possible. We already apologized. Okay, the next one is from Maddie.
Yeah.
She says, hello, I know this is a long letter, so bear with me. I've been listening to your podcast for over a month on Spotify. I listen to you at home and during school. I'm a freshman in high school, but I'm 14 because I have a late birthday, and I think I may be your youngest listener.
You're not. Randall's like 12 or 13.
Yeah, he's pretty young. This is my first time contacting you, but I thought it was necessary because I had to say that you guys make me laugh and that I really enjoy the podcast. Started watching Star Wars Rebels because of you, and I really like it. I don't think any of the main characters will die. You and me both, Maddie. Finally,
we already had main character deaths.
Who?
Those Mandalorian people.
Those are not main characters. Finally, I was wondering if you would please do a podcast on Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. It's my favorite and the first one I watched. Someday we will. Someday. I have a few questions for you. What on earth is Force Friday? Josh?
It's a marketing thing that they first did where they put out a bunch of hype products on a Friday night, Thursday night, Friday morning, a few months ahead of the Force Awakens launch, and they hyped it up as Force Friday, and all the stores had propaganda, and they had giveaways and things, and then Force Friday 2 was ahead of The Last Jedi. So
they kind of had. Well, they didn't have an official,
thing, but it wasn't official.
Yeah, for Rogue One.
So it's the date that their first wave of toys for the new movie comes out.
It's a way to get all the suckers that spend way too much on Star Wars toys to come out and buy Star Wars toys.
Yeah, and try and build hype.
Should I watch the Clone Wars? You are always telling Jen to. Yeah, I would watch the Clone Wars, especially since it's on Netflix, and everybody's got Netflix, right?
And it's only going to be on Netflix for a while. As soon as their streaming service comes out, you know that thing's getting pulled.
What about that season that was Netflix exclusive?
I don't know, but I would assume all Star Wars content, all Disney content will be gone,
right?
As soon as Disney's streaming service is live.
Did you hear they said they were going to make it? There's not going to be any rated R content on it.
I did.
They didn't say much more.
They said there's going to be 2 Star Wars series.
Yeah.
One of them's live action. We presume the other one will be animated.
Yeah. Yeah, I will subscribe to it. 3, I live in Alabama.
Do you think they're going to do it Netflix style, where they just release all the episodes at once? Or you think they're going to do it Amazon Prime style, where they still come out once a week?
I think they will still... I bet they'll do a mix. It'll depend on the series. I bet they do the Star Wars stuff serialized just to build hype.
I kind of dislike both.
You dislike both?
Kind of.
Yeah.
There's situations where I like being able to binge watch them, but then I also like having something to look forward to.
Like Lost, when Lost was coming out?
Sort of, yeah.
I hated waiting for Lost. That was the worst. I live in Alabama, but I actually have family in Illinois. They live in Macon. I've been there to visit, and I'm wondering how far it is in relation to where you live.
Macon, I think, is in the south. Like,
Is it?
fairly far. I'm pulling up Google Maps real fast.
I've been there to visit, and I'm wondering. Okay, you already said that. 4 is Forces of Destiny canon, and can you
Yes.
define canon for me in little kids' terms? We've been asked that before. Canon means it's real,
It's real in the Star Wars. It's like
official.
yeah.
It's part of it, part of the story.
It's not a myth or,
Just like a random story in the universe. It like
So in theory,
part of it.
it could get called back, or it could make references to other things, or if characters die, that means they're really dead.
Right.
It's not like a comic book where they die and then they undie 3 months later.
well,
in theory.
I mean, in comic books, it's things are canon too, but I think in Star Wars,
Well, they
death
just
is more
fork
permanent.
the canon, all the time. So Macon is like 15 minutes south of Decatur. So it's an hour and a half. So this is another thing, weird thing. I don't know if you've asked Yana this, but people in more, not densely populated, but areas like in Europe where
that are
stuff
more
is closer together,
concentrated, right?
they'll tell you distances in actual units like kilometers or miles. Whereas around here, we usually tell people distances in time
Right.
because, like, I don't know why, but that's how it's done. So Macon is an hour and a half from here.
I think it's because things are so much further.
I think that's what it's related
Yana she thinks it's insane to drive 3 hours to go
Right.
somewhere.
to. Well, it is.
She's only, before she came to the United States, she went on one trip in a car for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that's
Well, anytime
life-changing for
anytime they need to go long distances, they hop on a train, or flights aren't
Right.
super
Yeah.
expensive.
Man, I wish we had real
never
train
take
travel.
Yeah.
They hate car rides. Like, they hate road trips. It's unheard of.
It's just not a thing.
She couldn't believe that we were going to go. We're just going to drive somewhere, and it's like, oh, it's only 2 hours. And she's just like,
Yeah.
what? It's like, blows
Do I need
her
to
mind.
pack? Like, should I get all of rations for survival for a few days? So anyways, Macon is an hour and a half from here. Really, Decatur, everyone makes fun of Decatur because all it does is smell like corn, processed corn.
Yeah, because of
Stinks.
the ADM plant. There.
It's really bad.
There's a Caterpillar there too.
A Caterpillar?
Yeah.
There's a manufacturing facility for Caterpillar there.
Whatever. I said there's a Caterpillar plant.
No, you
didn't.
did.
Yes, I did.
You said
You said there's a Caterpillar there.
I like threw it off. I can check the tape. All right.
You just did it 10 seconds ago.
We both heard the same thing.
It was
Okay.
you just
Check
said
the tape. Check the tape.
Okay.
Look at my poor baby's toe. Look how red it is.
Yeah.
You
Looks
got-
like a red toe.
You got that for me. His ingrown toenail already. Here we go. Forces of Destiny. And Forces of Destiny is canon, yes.
Yeah.
So I've got a Rey theory. I think that the most obvious theory is the best. I'm hoping that Rey is Luke's daughter.
Oops.
It's so obvious that that is why I think it works. I hate any theories about Kylo being a spy. I agree with whoever said they hope Kylo is not turned good. Sorry, but I can't recall who that was. It was like a million people. I hope that Luke is not killed at all in this trilogy because Han's death made me so mad.
Uh-oh.
She's like 0 for 2 on her predictions in this.
So
year.
ready for episode 8, The Last Jedi. I'm going to listen to your podcast on it as soon as I see the movie because I loved the Force Awakens episode so much. She did. She sent in a letter. It was the first SWNU episode I listened to. I can't believe it's so close already. I'm glad Mark has lines this time. Lulz. Okay, Science Corner question. Can you break glass by singing at a high enough pitch? I've been curious about that for a while now. Thanks.
You can break almost anything if you could produce sound waves at its resonant frequency.
Right.
So it just depends on the material.
And
Glass has a resonant frequency that it's like in the range that our voices could in theory produce. But it depends on the glass, like what exactly it's made of, how thick it is, the shape it's in. So we do resonance testing on all sorts of materials to try and figure out
if you can break it.
if its resonant frequency is in a range where it would normally experience vibrations, because sounds are just vibrations.
Right.
So I don't think you've taken physics yet, being 14, but when you take physics, you'll learn what sound waves really are, and you'll understand what resonance is. And so, yes, the simple answer is yes. It is entirely conceivable that you could make something out of glass that a human being could shatter.
Keep using decimal scores. Thanks for what you do. Sincerely, Maddie. I got a compliment in an email that you missed. They said I am pulled the pod racer together.
Yeah. The glue that holds something together.
Yeah.
But not exciting glue.
No. This is from Araxis, episode 131, Ray Theory. Hey, SWNU. Just got done listening to episode 131. I like that we're reading people's theories because we can make them feel really
make
dumb.
fun of them. You were so stupid.
Just got done listening to episode 131. My wife has been a nurse for 3 years and just completed her master's and on her way to her doctorate, so the experience/student debt talk was all too real for us. Changing subjects. Thank you for doing that. Hear me out. I heard an interesting theory lately about Rey's accent being British-ish and the similarities to Palpatine's accent. I had heard those rumors as well. Those proper accents, generally reflecting those from the core worlds, as talked about in the Thrawn novel. The wild space inhabitants have a more lackadaisical accent. John Boyega, Finn, is British, but fakes an American accent. What are your thoughts? Any connection to Rey being a Palpatine, or am I and others thinking too much into it? Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, and thanks for cranking out some episodes for us. Araxis out.
You're clearly thinking too much into it. No, I mean, I was pretty clear on that even before the film.
Rey is no one. This is from Chris, our buddy Chris K.
This one you don't have the picture in here, so I'll pull it up while we're...
long time no here. Hey, Nerd Leaders, just finished episode 131 and noticed one of my emails hit the buzzer beater, so I figured it's a good time to write another. This one did not hit the buzzer beater. There's probably one or two still in the pipeline somewhere. Your job titles sound pretty important and cool. Yeah. I work at a gas station. I was not in the gifted or talented part of school growing up. Obs. Haha. I found school really boring and just kind of did enough to get by. But if I ever do want to sound cool, I tell people I am a petroleum distribution engineer. Also, as you may or may not remember, I'm a big fan of Wayne's World, and when you had said Delaware, that was the first thing I thought of as well. It gave me a good laugh. As for any actual useful pie filling in this email, Josh, I believe the reason Australia is in the Asian Football Federation was due to a choice from their FA. What does that mean?
Football Association.
To get them better prepared and make it more challenging to reach world tournaments instead of demolishing countries in... Say that word for me.
Oceania?
Somebody corrected my pronunciation, so I didn't want to say it again. Okay. Hence why New Zealand, shout out Hobby, was able to make an appearance at the World Cup in South Africa. And just as an FYI, I did not cancel my pre-order of Battlefront 2. I did not get the deluxe version with 3 days early access, so I got it on the Friday, and by that point, they had put the temporary hold on the microtransactions, thankfully. I did, however, think to myself when I heard the news, shucks, not again. I already traded in one game I didn't like, now this. But I've been playing, and so far it's really good, IMO. I beat the campaign, which we've discussed on the Discord chat, so I won't do it here, but I liked it. Few things I could do without, but the multiplayer has been good as well. I don't feel underpowered as many people thought would happen. All around, 8 sabers out of 10 for me. And as I'm sure you will get to this point at some point in one of the emails, I mentioned before that this is in the pipeline. I had talked about updating the blueprints for Jen's dad's house. Well, here they all in all their glory. Keep in mind, I don't have a PhD. May the force be with you. And
let me see.
His blueprints are great. We sent those to Jesus. He mocked them up and did his own rendition for the t-shirts.
We have t-shirts now.
I love how it says single-use RAM.
Estimated build time.
1 day. Oh my god. Use excess wood for RAM. Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Is this the one Jesus did?
No, he took we could literally make this a shirt and it would be so hilarious.
Yeah, it is really funny.
I think I might try to do that.
Oh gosh, I just don't know if my dad would be offended if I gave him a shirt like that. If he would think I just talk about him in a negative way on the show.
Jesus designed us a bunch of designs, and I put them on TeePublic. So if you want to buy shirts, we have a TeePublic store now.
And
our
it's
user is SWNU. So you can just search for SWNU and you should find our store.
You can also, I think we put the link on Facebook, and we need to put the link on the website.
Right.
Remind me to do that tomorrow.
We showed everybody the shirts that Kevin sent us. They're a little different. I mean, there's some of the same images, but
the
newer ones too. But
he was just showing us what he could put on the shirt.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily like that was the design. And I loved him. Ultimately, like, I'm terrible. I am an awful person at following up on things.
Ooh, sorry.
And I blew it, Kevin. So we did the TeePublic thing just because
Josh did it on his own without telling Tim.
Well,
Tim,
I set up some of it. All right. I got us an account.
I'm pretty sure I did
he
that.
did the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure I set up TeePublic months ago.
No, I set that up months ago.
I was trying to figure out.
I set it up months ago.
You can take credit for it so you feel better for yourself when you go to bed tonight. That's fine.
I did.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, Josh got tired of waiting around for Tim to do it and to communicate everything. So that's why we just did it separately.
And we don't have to like go back and forth and stuff. It's just easier. We're out of it. We just put some pictures up and people can order their own phone cases or whatever they want.
And you can have a t-shirt that has our
official
our logo
or our other stuff.
Now I've got to make a blueprint shirt.
And Jesus did it. He did all of our designs.
Speaking of t-shirts, we need a design for Disney. With the Mickey ears with our logo.
The kids really do not want to wear one of those.
Well, no, we three can wear it. And I can make a little onesie. Do you want to try to do a Star Wars Nerds Unite meetup at Disney?
No.
Tell people which park we're going to be in, which day?
No.
See if anybody shows up?
No.
What if we wear the t-shirts and people recognize us?
That's fine. But I'm just going to blow you off because I'll have my kids.
What? I'm not going to blow anybody off.
I will.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will. I'll say hi. I'm walking over here. Bye.
Are you going to be like that with me?
It just kind of depends. Like,
yes, the answer is yes.
If I have a screaming 2-year-old and my option is make the 2-year-old not scream or make Tim feel stronger about his emotional connection with me, I'm gonna make my 2-year-old cry less.
All right, I'm gonna read one more email and then we'll call it an episode.
We're already at an hour.
Yeah, this is from Mark. He says, "Hey guys, episode 131 sounded like you guys were catching up after a 3-week hiatus. Ugh. And not really following your strict podcast format." Oh yeah, that was the one where I blew the intro. I forgot how to podcast.
Yeah.
It was good though, don't worry. About your listeners in Asia, you can count me as one. I'm Canadian, but I live in Taiwan. There must be others of us over here. It's not too difficult to find you once you begin searching for Star Wars podcasts on whichever podcast app you use. I use Podcast Addict. I can't believe I'm the only one. You're not, actually. Podcast Addict is the second most used app besides Spotify. Spotify blows everything else out of the water.
I use Podcast Addict.
Josh, do you take NFL corner questions too? Or only Science corner questions?
I take whatever corner.
My coworker is a Browns fan. Will they ever win a game?
Not this year.
I wish that would have been.
Oh my god, that makes me really sad. I can't believe it.
They might next year. They've got a lot of young talent.
The Bears are so depressing, but I can't imagine
being a Bears
never winning a game.
I catch myself reading Browns news sometimes. I think I would be a Browns fan. Am I just a loser? Is that what's wrong with me?
The worst part is they moved and then they won.
Yeah, they did. I like their jerseys. Though. I like their colors. I think it's so weird and cool. All right. I think I've talked about that on the podcast before too.
But it's just Cleveland. Cleveland is just it's bad.
What do you mean?
That's as soon as they left Cleveland, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. But
But
The Cavs won a
is-
championship.
Wasn't Cleveland?
The Indians almost won one.
Almost.
Then the Cubs won.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It was the Cleveland Indians that the Cubs
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Cleveland.
But Cleveland
visit.
Cavaliers, wasn't that the team that LeBron was on forever?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
still on the team.
Well, he's
and then
gone
they
back
traded
and
half
forth.
their
They won-
team at the trade deadline.
They won one title with LeBron.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. They
went to
somehow
the
beat
finals
the
a
Warriors.
bunch of times,
Yeah.
and they just kept getting beat.
well,
By the Warriors.
Yeah, but
Twice.
they still have good seasons with him.
Yeah, they typically do decently during the season. I mean, they're like usually the number 1 seed in the East, and then
Not this year though.
No, they have been terrible because they put together a team of old players that are washed up and couldn't play together because they all need the ball to do anything. But then they
Bless
traded
you.
their whole team.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it was shocking. Thanks, Mark. Happy New Year. I sent this on November 27th, but I guess by the time you read this, it'll already be 2018 and The
Oh
Last
my
Jedi has long
gosh.
been out. I hope it doesn't suck.
It's seriously almost March. We're almost a quarter.
It's not almost March.
Okay,
We're
it's-
just sneaking into February.
Okay.
Right.
February is a short month.
You know what? I got a good feeling. I think we're going to be regular on this podcast now. It's happening.
I don't know.
You are so
No, I'm not.
ridiculous.
No, I'm not. It's happened. We're back into it.
Okay.
What are we going to talk about for the next episode?
Oh,
We have
we're
to
gonna
talk about
the
the
Han Solo
trailer.
trailer.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I'll talk about what we're going to talk about in the next episode and the
I
next
feel like
episode.
he's like blank slate. Like every day he wakes
I
up
don't know.
and he like has no memory of what's already happened.
No, let me
like-
let me tell you what I do. I literally say things in a questioning format so that we will talk about it on the podcast and I'm engaging you in the process. It's this crazy thing I do to try to help inform the listeners and make them feel like everyone's part of the conversation. You guys are jerks.
It just seems like you forget what we just
Yeah,
talked about.
I know. I know it does. Good Lord.
Spoiler alert, we've got another lightsaber hilt investigation in our next episode as well.
From Icy Spidey.
Yeah.
We're everywhere on the internet. Find us everywhere. Google us and promote us. Tell all your friends. Make everybody listen to us. We want to be the number 1 Star Wars podcast in the universe.
We already are the number 1 Star Wars podcast in the universe. The
We are-
metrics just don't reflect that.
Okay, I'll agree with that. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenViewNetwork.com.